We're getting ready for match number 26 of the IPL. Hello and welcome to ESPN Cricinfo Match Day T20. It's a repeat of the game that delivered the season's first and only super over so far. It's the Kolkata Knight Riders against the Delhi Capitals. Saurav Ganguly returns to the Eden Gardens, this time as advisor to the visiting team. You've got Dinesh Karthik one side, Rishabh Pant the other. You've got Rabada, V. Russell, round 2, waiting and raring to go. So plenty for Sean Tate and Deep Dasgupta to talk about on the show with me. Often, Deep, they say that tosses at Kolkata or against Kolkata become half the game, and Delhi would be pleased that they've started by winning the toss and going for a chase. How big is this toss?
It is big. It is big in the sense it's very difficult to set a target at Eden Gardens, and especially I just had a look at the surface and it seemed like it looks more like Wimbledon.
A tinge.
looks more like Wimbledon than a cricketing pitch. Again, more of a reason that you don't want to bat first because you don't know how much of a movement that pitch will have. You know that pitch has bounce, but looking at that kind of grass, you're like, there should be some movement on the surface.
That should excite you if you're an overseas fast bowler, and Delhi have 3 of them today in their ranks.
They've got if any team's got a couple of guys that can exploit it, if it is what it looks like, then this is the team that's got the guys to come out, and if they're bowling first as well, it's going to be a bit of a challenge for the KKR boys.
So let's have a look at who all could exploit this wonderful looking pitch for a fast bowler at the Eden Gardens, which is not what you used to get when Saurav Ganguly used to bat, but you get it these days. That's what we've got for you. You got Kimo Paul in for Sandeep Lamichhane, and the rest of the team is pretty much the same that beat Bangalore a few days back at the Chinnaswamy. So it's an all-out pace attack with just Rahul Tewati and Akshar Patel to roll their arm away if required. Otherwise, you've got 4 outright seamers in that list. Do you like that change?
Yeah, I mean, looking at that pitch, but having said that, it's very one-dimensional. That's what I think. I mean, you still have, to credit to them, they still have a leg spinner in Tevatia. Yeah. So they've gone
with
that.
There's no gun leg spinner. Wicket-taking leg spinner. And is that a miss or is that not a miss at Eden Gardens?
Well, I would still like to see Lamichhane, but looking at that pitch, you know where they're coming from. And bowling first, I mean, that's going to be interesting. And looking at KKR top order, they really have not fired as yet.
For someone who knows that Eden Gardens pitch so well, can there be anything where it could look different than what it is? Can that ever happen? Or if it's looking green, it's going to do what we think?
Yeah, because that green that we saw, it was a very consistent layer of green. It wasn't patchy. And we all know, I mean, last 3-4 years, there's a lot of bounce on that pitch because the topsoil has been changed 4-5 years ago. Now with that grass and also, and it's an evening game. And it's an evening game, so obviously it looks a good track to bowl on, especially first up.
You know, the other side is that maybe KKR have also assessed this and made changes accordingly because they've left out Harry Gurney and brought in Lockie Ferguson. There are 2 other changes that Dinesh Karthik says are forced because of some niggles and some flu. So Joe Denley gets a game, Carlos Brathwaite gets a game. So there's a real rejigging of the international players. And Sunil Narayan we know is out, Harry Gurney we know is out, and we're assuming that Chris Lynn would be the 3rd missing player. We'll confirm that in just a few seconds for you. But we do know that Lockie Ferguson is in. So that we almost have to speculate what the batting order could look like, Teddy. But Joe Denley gets a game, Brathwaite and Russell. That's a lot of firepower in the middle. And you got Lockie for Harry Gurney. Let's go for the one that we know. Lockie Ferguson for Harry Gurney. Is that, again, dictated by what they think this pitch will do?
Obviously pace and seam up stuff. It's going to be pretty quick by the look of it, the wicket. And he's probably as close as it comes as the quickest ball in the comp, I suppose, when he's up firing. But he's got to take wickets as well. So he's got a challenge ahead of him as well to try and. It's probably a good opportunity for him to try and cement a spot now, almost. Obviously depending on conditions, but. And then I think Denley's a good player. He's more than capable. There's no doubt about that. I think Brathwaite will bat a bit lower than what it said on our screen there. I think he might even go behind Russell even.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I would say there.
I think that's a good playing 11 looking at those conditions. I mean, you know Brathwaite and his struggles against spin. So he comes in, and Lockie, obviously there's a trend there, so they're looking at any Turner or something, so they'll pick someone like Harry Gurney, Harry Gurney, and if you get pitches like that, then you pick Brathwaite. He can bowl as well. I mean, I saw him bowling recently, and he did all right with the ball.
Brathwaite. Yeah. Okay, what about the call to play in Joe Denley? What do we know of Joe Denley? He's played a little bit for England now, 90-20 eyes for him. He's 33, he's looked at as an all-format sort of player because he played in the West Indies in the Tests as well.
Is
Chris
Lenny Crook? Is he sick? Is he? When I say Crook, sorry, I mean is he unwell?
Yeah. But we know that he said that 2 changes are forced due to illness and injury.
So yeah, he's obviously
and
unwell.
I'm assuming Lynn and Narayan are those 2 changes.
I mean, I like the It's gonna be interesting. I think a lot of now all of a sudden, this game you look at the wicket, you go, this is going to be interesting. The changes have been made on both sides. You go, right, this is capturing our attention all of a sudden, which is a good thing at this time of the tournament. I think Denley's one of those where a lot of people in India probably won't know a lot about him.
Yeah.
I played against him for a long time, years ago, and he's more than capable player. Yeah, he's a good player.
Okay, we'll come to more chat of how that Kolkata batting could look like with Deep Dasgupta. But before that, get busy on our first Facebook poll. If you're watching on our Facebook Live video, no Sandeep Lamichan, and he's got a lot of fans on Facebook, the Nepalese leg spinner. So if you think that it's the right move, then get the heart reaction. Otherwise, give us the angry reaction if you think that Delhi could have done better. Right, let's just actually move on to speaking of Dinesh Karthik, the slow start to the season that Kolkata had at the bat, and make this a larger conversation exactly about that, about Kolkata's potential rejig batting order today and whatnot. Dinesh Karthik's been quiet actually this season, Deep. We're just looking at some of his impact in previous seasons gone by. And he was brilliant for them in 2018, finishing games off. Somehow, it looks like Karthik's just taking a little while to get his mojo in this or find his mojo in this year's IPL.
Yeah, I mean, which is true. And listen, from an Indian perspective, that's not a great thing to see. I mean, someone like him going at an average of 22 and a strike rate of less than 120, which is so unlike someone like Dinesh Karthik. You can still understand the average part of it because his job is to finish games, but that strike rate of below 120 is kind of unheard of. But you know what? But with Dinesh, the thing is, he's never looks out of form. Even if he plays 20 deliveries, chances are all those 19 before he gets out, he looks absolutely spot on. It's just one shot and he gets out. And that's been the case this year as well. He hasn't really looked out of form, but he hasn't scored big runs, which is kind of has not helped KKR's cause.
Yeah, now one thing we've seen Dinesh Karthik do in recent times in the IPL is take on spin quite immediately, and that's been a bit of a concern for them this year because he's been out twice in 3 innings to spin. And he averages just 23, got out trying to go for the big one against Imran Tahir in the last game. But Terry, you're looking at Dinesh Karthik, much improved 2020 player last couple of years, very good finisher. There seem to be a lot of finishers in this team. Could that sometimes make matters a little harder?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, their top order hasn't really fired properly consistently anyway. So, yeah, it's an interesting makeup, that's for sure. But I mean, he's the sort of player where it's just around the corner for him. Like he's gonna get a score at some stage. He's been a really good player of his career. So the good thing is, I don't think he's got a great deal of spin to worry about in the Delhi lineup. So.
Yeah. And you wouldn't mind if it's just Akshar Patel and Rahul Tewatia, with due respect to them. But how would the rest of that batting lineup shape up now? There's no Narayan, there's no Lin. You assume Joe Denley's going to open.
That's right.
Would you send Robin Uthappa with him? Would you look for someone else who could do a bit of a Sunil Narayan kind of role, like a pinch hitter? Would you want Shubman Gill higher? Nitish Rana's open this year.
Not really, not Shubman Gill, but I would like to see him bat in the top 4.
Okay.
But I would reckon Nitish Rana because he opened the first game, got a half century. Yeah. So that could be a possibility. You put Nitish Rana right there at the top with Joe Denley. And then you have Robin Uthappa at 3 and Shubman Gill at 4. Karthik at 5, and look at that, Karthik at 5, Russell at 6, Brathwaite at 7. That looks dangerous. That looks like really dangerous.
Which is, I think it sort of works out well because now there's not sloggers at the top of the order. Like the 2 opening batsmen now, it's going to change the way they go about things. They're not going to go as hard.
Joe Denley, proper batsman, Chris Lynn slogger.
Yeah, well, he's a very, very good slogger.
Yeah, I know, you know.
And, I mean, Narayan is a slogger, and a good one of that. But I mean, Linney's obviously a really good batsman. But the way they go about it, I think now that these guys can, I wouldn't say take their time, but they can be a little bit more cautious because they know they've got Karthik, Russell, Brathwaite at the end.
I mean, I think I go deep on one thing, which a lot of people would like to see. Shubman Gill possibly bat higher, get a little more game time. There's plenty we're waiting to see from Shubman Gill. He's already got an India cap to his name, but now we'll have to see if he gets more game time with the bat in the IPL. Let's move to our next match point. And we spoke of Kolkata's batting and those that might need to fire Dinesh Karthik and the likes. Maybe Colin Ingram needs to make his starts count. He's been given a huge vote of confidence by being picked in this team ahead of other options that they do have the Delhi Capitals. But the least average in IPL 2019 is in company that we have spoken of before. We said Shane Watson's not quite fired, Rohit Sharma's not quite fired, Raina's had just little cameos, but that's what he got from Colin Ingram. Teddy, he's built a reputation for himself as this hard-hitting T20 batsman. He has started decently, but this is now getting to the point where you start thinking, is Colin Ingram the real deal again when it comes to the IPL?
You tend to think, again, it's almost like DK, where it's that sort of calibre players just around the corner. The thing is, it's different. I played with him at Glamorgan actually in T20 competition over obviously in county cricket, and he was fantastic. He was our best player. But IPL, just obviously conditions, different bowlers you're facing, it just changes everything. And he's done quite well in the Big Bash as well, but again, it's just completely different here. So he's still trying to find his feet as, I think, an IPL player.
I think Delhi batsmen, they're going to really enjoy playing away from Delhi.
Okay.
Especially someone like Colin Ingram. The kind of surface that they have is completely opposite to the kind of players that they have, the batsmen that they have. You look at all the Delhi batsmen, they're all free-flowing stroke players, and the Delhi surface does not offer them that luxury. So, I mean, someone like Colin Ingram and all the Delhi batsmen, I think they should enjoy every time they get to play outside Delhi. Apart from Chepauk, apart from Chennai.
This wicket might suit them. This wicket here might suit them perfectly.
Funny you'll say that, because actually if you just look at the numbers, and maybe it's a different story if you look at the numbers, Colin Ingram's done better against spin than he has against pace. He's striking at 135 against spin, but then I think that sample size is a little limited. That having been said, you look at Colin Ingram's games, he got a 47 against Mumbai at the Wankhede. Then at Delhi, he's got scores of 18. He's got scores of 2, 10 and 5. So he struggled at the Kotla, and then he's got a 38 and a 22 at Mohali and Bangalore. So you're looking at the point that Deep's making, that maybe he won't quite enjoy, even if you're playing spin, you might as well play spin away from the Kotla.
Exactly.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm not just talking about Colin Ingram here, I'm just talking about all the Delhi batsmen.
So they like pace on the
They like pace.
And,
absolutely, all of them. And that surface in Delhi is so unlike the players that they have. So there's definitely a communication gap between the management and maybe the ground.
Would you like to see Colin Ingram used a little more? Send him up. Sometimes Shreyas Iyer and Shikhar Dhawan together might be, the antidote to a power
to
game.
me, I think Colin Ingram is like a number 3.
Yeah.
That's what he's in T20 cricket. And maybe 4, not much lower than 4. That's for sure. No lower than 4. That's the way I see him. I picture him as a number 3 batter in 2020 cricket.
Yeah.
Whether that can happen for them, I'm not sure. But it's funny how teams, when franchises get their teams organised, and sometimes they forget about the wicket, don't they?
Yeah.
The players
And the kind of wicket that you should give them. All right, that we'll wait to see. But Colin Ingram might fancy his chances against a KKR bowling lineup, a pace bowling lineup, certainly, that has had its share of issues this IPL. We'll come to that in just a bit. But if we just reveal the results of the poll that we asked you, Sandeep Lamichhane out and Kimo Paul in, if you think...
Well, popular?
I don't think I've seen a 0-100 result in all the shows I've done for the IPL with all the polls we've done.
I reckon Paul's going to get man of the match now. He's going to dominate.
I don't think you'll feel strongly enough about this. Let's hear more from you. Incredible. We'll see in time whether that's a move that's good or not. Kimo Paul played just the first 2 games of this season against Mumbai and Chennai, and then lost his place once Chris Morris was back in the setup. But he's now finding a place back at the expense of Nepal's much adored and loved spinner Sandeep Lamichhane. Do get busy with our next poll too. Delhi or Kolkata? Are you going for a super over perhaps? We don't have something for that, but we do have something of who do you think will win. If you think they'll win through a super over, tell us that too. Those are the reactions, so get busy. Let's go to our next matchday match point. Speaking of the super over, speaking of Kagiso Rabada and Chris Morris, they have absolutely nailed this dilemma that a lot of other teams have had, which is how do I get the death bowling right? Looking at some numbers too, and Sean Tate might enjoy this because we'll actually find Delhi doing very well. You wouldn't mind at going at 9s when Andre Russell's just changed the way the world is lived in, but it's also the ability to execute that beautiful ball called the Yorker.
Yeah, first up, straight away, obviously the overseas boys, Morris has got the ability to bowl well at the death, and obviously Rabada has as well. So more so Rabada, but so I think that's a huge strength, and it's going to be interesting towards the end of the tournament, to the business end, if that's going to pay off from that death bowling. So, and if there's a team they need to really nail it against. It's against this lot. You know, you've got some good hitters down the lower order there.
Yeah, just look at the most wickets in the death, and just throw that up, and just look at economy rates to give us an idea. Rabada with 8 wickets at the death has been brilliant. Economy of 8, you'd accept that. Keeps the company of the likes of Bravo, Sam Kerr and Shami, but everyone's going at over 10s. Bumrah is the other exception, so you can clearly see we keep comparing the two as the best in the world.
Yeah.
And if you look at the best economy on the other hand, Chris Morris is up there, 6.2 at the death.
Wow.
And a few wickets. So they've got 2 guys. You're looking for 1 guy in other teams.
Yeah.
You've got 2 guys that are saying
Listen,
we'll do the job.
when I look at this Delhi side, it's a very, very exciting side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very exciting side, and I just hope they're able to keep this side together for next 2-3 years. They might not go on to win it this year, but looking at that talent there and their age and the average age there, in the next 2-3 years, this could be the team to beat.
You agree with that?
Delhi are probably, I know, teams you've played for in the past, but Delhi are probably my favourite team.
Yeah.
I always want them to do well, and it's been like that for the last few years now. So,
What's it about the Delhi team that has
I don't know. I just like. There's something about them I like. I like the way, like what Deep's saying, the young guys. You just want them to do well, and I love their colours.
Rajasthan are very young.
I like their colours. I like their.
That's better. Give
I like
us more depth. Yeah.
childish way of looking at it. I like their strip. I like their uniform. It's just
Yeah, that's
something
why you
about
abandoned Rajasthan, because you can't stand the bloody pink that they've got.
and the worst thing is I spend most of my time in Bombay and in India, but I like Delhi, so it's weird. Anyway, never mind what I think. Who cares?
Okay, so in all seriousness, they do have Rabada and they do have Chris Morris, and that stands as 2 bowlers who've got the most amount of wickets as well as the best economy rate this IPL. So on the other hand, you've got Kolkata Knight Riders that have an issue with their bowling at the death, and that's something we'll discuss now while you continue putting in your results for the poll on Facebook. But there's an issue when it comes to the death overs performance for the Kolkata bowlers. So let's move to that match point and focus a little bit on some numbers about why Kolkata's bowlers haven't quite got it. Again, it's a similar conversation. If you're relying on Prasidh Krishna, and Andre Russell's not bowling,
Yeah.
is that an issue now for you?
Listen, with Kolkata, the issue is they're very spinner-oriented side as far as their bowling is concerned. They've always relied a lot on Narayan Chawla and Kuldeep Yadav. Unfortunately, this year, even the spinners haven't picked up as many wickets as they should.
I mean, Prasidh Krishna is good, but 6 games, no wickets, and an economy of 12.
Yeah, so what has happened with Kolkata is they've gone on to win quite a few games. But if you actually assess them, it's basically because of the brilliance of Andre Russell that they've gone on to win so many games. The batting has not really fired, the top order. The bowlers have not got a lot of wickets. It's just that, Andre Russell's been able to iron out all these issues so far.
Yeah,
So it is important in that dressing room for them to address and understand, listen, we're there, we've done well in terms of points and wins. But actually, apart from Andre Russell, not too many people have fired so far.
And if you just look at who carries the responsibility of that bowling, you've got Lockie Ferguson, Prasidh Krishna. That's not.
I know, but you
that's
have
not
to
standing
throw. I think Ferguson, you have to throw the ball to him. Just say you got to do it, mate. This is you're a strike bowler. You have to bowl the death. You got the pace. If he gets it right at that pace, he'd be very effective. So I believe he can do it. Krishna as well. I mean, he's the same. I mean, there's no reason why he can't. But we're certainly not. Let's be honest, we're not 100% sure that they can.
Yeah.
I'm sure the skipper's the same, but. I mean, Harry Gurney's not playing, but he is a death bowler. Andre Russell's not
But he's
bowling.
a different type of bowler. I mean, if you're not going to play him on this surface, then he's
he's a genuine death bowler. I think Russell's a death bowler as well.
What about Russell's sort of decline or his bowling going on the wane? Is that affected them? Because there's a time Russell was a gun for over bowler too.
He can bowl death as well.
Yeah, last year he used to bowl in the death.
I think he's got a lot of problems with his body. He's always every game he seems to be. He'll start limping or he'll start something and something's not right. His body's never quite right.
If there's something not right, you can tell even when he's batting that you can't be hitting that. It's going to take a toll somewhere.
So, I mean, what do you do?
But once you've lost Russell the bowler, the impact of Russell the bowler as a gun end overs bowler, almost like Dwayne Bravo's become more of a bowler than a batsman now.
Well, you have
the other way around here.
Yeah, it's lucky that his batting is going well, because if your batting's not going well and you're not bowling, then all of a sudden it's like, well, where do we fit in? But at the moment it doesn't matter because he's smashing. So.
That's
but
true.
he's actually a death bowler, so
very true.
hopefully he can get up, he can get his body in nick and get up and bowl for him.
Yeah, the fact is that they've also lost the ability for some of their wicket-taking bowlers to get wickets. Sunil Narayan's not been amongst the wickets. Kuldeep Yadav has not been amongst the wickets. That again comes down to Kolkata's problems. Sunil Narayan might be played out.
So if you look at the death overs all these years, I'm talking last 4-5 years, it's predominantly because the death overs have been easier because your middle overs, the bowlers have picked wickets. Sunil Naran's picked wickets, Kuldeep's picked wickets,
that's not
Piyush
happening.
Chawla's done well. So that's not enough pressure on the death over bowlers. But now what is happening is there is more pressure because in the middle overs you're not picking wickets. So I think overall the bowling unit has not clicked in terms of picking wickets now. And from that perspective, I think Sunil Naran not bowling as well as he used to has made a huge difference.
Yeah, right. This is something they'll have to figure without Sunil Narayan's services today. He's not playing in the 11. Kuldeep Yadav is. And again, he's not at the happiest start to his IPL, not as many wickets as he would have liked. But we tried to cheer him up a bit. We sent Cyrus Brocha, of all people, to the Kolkata Knight Riders hotel. And here's what we could get out of Kuldeep Yadav and Cyrus. Good luck, guys.
Who is most likely to be late for the team bus? Ting! Arey wah. Kuldeep is the sahi jawab. Okay, who is most likely to fall asleep during a live cricket match? It's happened?
Yeah, not in IPL, but
I know.
domestic cricket, yes.
Who is most likely to appear on a cooking reality show?
Not me for sure. No way.
No cooking at all?
No cooking at all.
Toast bana sakte? You
मैं
make
चाय
toast?
बना लेता हूँ बस.
That's it?
मैगी भी बना लेता हूँ.
Who is most likely to become a coach after retiring? This is a serious question. Because then we'll keep this footage and play it at your academy. Piyush Chawla Academy coach.
That's why I'm saying I'm not even pointing a finger at me, and I don't. Abhi he'll play another 10 years. I'll play another 5-6 years. So abhi to it's too early to
नहीं,
think that.
उसके बाद मैं सोचता हूँ यूपी के कोच बन सकते हैं पीसी भाई.
Who is most likely to forget that there's a match the next day? Yeah.
Not obviously these games, because obviously as the schedule you keep getting those messages. But yeah, when I go for my corporate games and all to Chennai, which we were discussing, so
They're watching Piyush.
no, but it's okay.
The corporates are watching.
It's okay.
Anyway.
So what they do is I tell them to book a last flight from Delhi to Chennai. So they keep an option of 3-4 flights after my flight. So they book me like 6 o'clock flight, so that even if I miss it, so I have another 2-3 option to catch a flight.
So it's happened obviously.
Once.
Okay. Corporate, we are sorry. Send him a helicopter so he can come at the time he wants to.
Chennai tak jayega helicopter.
Of course. Why not? Low. Kuldeep is just giving us the helicopter sound. Okay, who is most likely to survive on an isolated island with no human beings? You're happy?
Can yeah.
Yeah, he actually wants that. He's actually saying. Yeah?
Yes.
You like being alone?
I am more into adventure, so I feel like I can survive there.
Adventure, come to Bombay. It's an island. You'll be alone. Trust me. Who is most likely to binge eat after a training session? After training, who immediately eats too much?
I used to, but not anymore.
Become very fit, huh?
Yeah, I lost like 8 kgs.
Thanks to Guru.
Guru is
Exercise Guru.
fitness master.
Both of you all have gone from slightly overweight, if I can say that, to very fit now.
Yes.
Who's most likely to start a restaurant after retirement? Many cricketers have, many sports people have done this.
Actually, I'm planning.
Really?
But, yeah, but let's see.
Will it be called Chinaman?
I don't know.
And you serve Indian food, because that will be like a googly. Huh? The other one. The guy will come, "Mujhe Chinese chahiye." Ah, sorry, it's Indian food, but it's called Chinaman because googly. Great, I think it's a great idea. Perfect. All right, cheers. Thank you, guys. Let's just look into camera and say bye.
Bye.
Cyrus Brocha with Kuldeep Yadav and Piyush Chawla. Thoroughly enjoyable. There, you want to have another look at it, make sure you log on to espncricinfo.com. Results of the poll: Kolkata or Delhi as the KKR opening batsmen make their way out. And it looks like you are going with the team that's won the toss. That's a bit of a surprise. But yeah, 67% have said that they fancy Delhi to win this. Right, let's move to our Fab 4 selections. Who wants to go first today?
His turn.
Okay.
All right, good luck, Teddy. You're going to pick 4 people that are
who's
not going to
playing?
do anything today. So,
Who's playing?
yeah, Kolkata and Delhi. Let's have a look.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't like any of these dudes.
All right, let's go to Delhi. Let's go to Delhi. Andre Russell's not making his list. So here's
Pretty sure he's going to make mine.
Prithvi Shaw.
Look, it's going to be Chris Morris.
Okay.
I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for Shreyas, and I'm going to take someone from KKR. Shreyas and.
Okay, so Shreyas, Chris Morris, and Prithvi Shaw from Delhi.
Look, it's going to be. I'll go Dre Russ.
Okay, now big news is that Shubman Gill's walked out to open the batting. So we'll come to that in just a second, and let's get the picks first.
Quickly, I'll go with Robin.
Okay, Robin Uthappa.
Robin Uthappa, you've got Gleras, right, Morris? I'll go with Rabada.
You'll go with Rabada.
Rabada, and I'm gonna go with Joe Denley.
Joe Denley.
Nice.
All right.
See, Joe Denley, Robin Uthappa, and I'm going
Rabada
with Rabada. And
Pant is there, Dhawan's there.
I'm going to go with Pant actually.
Pant. Okay, great. So you got your picks. Let me get a quick word from you, Deep, on Shubman Gill opening the batting. Just quick thoughts on that.
I think it's a good move. Did I pick him?
No, you didn't pick him. Would you like to?
No, I don't want to make
All
any
right.
changes. But I think it's a good move. I think
Yeah.
it's a good move. He hasn't played too many games, and he's a free-flowing batsman.
All right. And just as we are set to say goodbye
I
to
picked
you,
Shubman Gill, right?
No, you didn't
Joe
pick Shubman.
Denley.
Joe Denley. Who picked Joe Denley?
Who picked
One
Joe
of you-
Denley?
Deep Dasgupta has picked
No,
Joe Denley.
no, I said Shubman Gill. I said Shubman Gill, not Joe Denley.
Joe Denley has got the best.
Yeah, you can have Shubman Gill. That's
Lord.
not fair. Give him-
About 20 seconds
Look at that
back,
for a delivery, by the way.
about 45 seconds back, Joe Denley was picked by Deep Dasgupta as his Fab 4 pick. And about 30 seconds back, Joe Denley, his first ball in IPL cricket, and his
absolute
stumps have gone cartwheeling.
beauty
The
as well.
perfect in-swinger from Ishant Sharma. You enjoyed that, Sean Tate?
That is an absolute beauty, that.
All right.
Joe Denley's come all the way from England for that.
If anything, Ishant Sharma loves bowling to
Well,
England
no.
batsmen in English conditions. What a start.
Hopefully,
Great.
he's going to bowl deep.
He bowled with a leg break, I believe.
No, he's not going to bowl.
He's not gonna bowl,
I
all
just
right.
hope he picks, 5 catches or something like that.
Okay,
Maybe.
thank you to Deep Dasgupta and to Sean Tate. Get their thoughts for a 10 over update. Cracking start for Delhi, and we'll see how things go at
cracking start for me.
halftime. Yes, we'll see how things go at halftime on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday T20. Bye bye.